Talk to me about Bayern.
Wasn't what I expected, I know that much. I had this idea that maybe I'd get along with him. Either because he was like his mom, or because he was like,
You?
But it was like somebody talked him out of his personality. And when he looked at you, you got the feeling he was looking at someone a long ways behind you. It's not his fault. He's alone out here. And his mom was such a force. If she was so sure of herself, she'd have had that cult leader following her. Hard to replace something like that.
What'd you do for it?
I like that feeling. Knowing that was something I never... Not that I... There was that little town, I went in and asked their mayor, but then it turned out he was in that scam cult they have over there. And when I wasn't looking, guess he wanted to drain my blood, or... Anyway, I came out of his house. They didn't even want to do an election.
He got to be the mayor after that?
I said, if you're sure, and they all nodded.
Sorry, I thought I'd already heard this conversation. Evidently I hadn't. So... He was mayor. How were you as a mayor?
Some of it I was good at. Welcoming people. Getting them to settle there, keeping order. But there were other things I had no head for. Negotiating, settling arguments, saying the right things. I think I made a difference, but plenty of folks got hurt along the way. And I don't know if that was something we could have avoided, or if it was the cost of trying to fix things. If you like.
Okay, so that's everything from Adair. And then there's a couple people on the top of the boat that I can talk to. They must feed off mortal souls over time. Okay, that's... Let's see. Tekehu, you got anything to say?
I thought Aethys was too busy kicking over islands to blunt his teeth with mortals. What say? You must take something from all this idle chatter with the gods.
Nothing new. I've been at this before.
For what does he listen to you, then? The gods I know are tight of lip and hard of hearing.
He might be worried about how we interpret his actions. I don't pretend to understand the motivations of a god.
Ikera, it makes my head hurt whenever I try to figure out what Ngati wants from me.
Yeah, because she wanted to be more powerful. Definitely, Aldrich, yeah.
I could not imagine the inner workings of a god. But then, I am not meant to. It is for mortals to flail in the darkness, I say, while gods point us toward light.
I have felt the weight of authority before. I have no desire to feel it again.
To be worshipped. To have others interpret your design. It is not fair, I say. For what should a god worry about such cares, when theirs is the hand on the tiller?
Are we still talking about Aethys? He pauses, blinking at you with a handful of hair pressed between his fingers.
Ikera, I did not wish to burden you. These days I am having to think harder than my pampered years. You will forgive the handsome fish if he is as curious as the green god.
Comparing yourself to gods, calling yourself handsome.
At least Aethys has you to keep him in check. What happens when we catch up to him is something for future Tekehu to worry about.
Whoa!
Scratch under the wet clay of any artist, and you hatch a lifetime of fear and doubt.
Andra props her chin on her fists and studies Tekehu with a sigh.
My boy doesn't fear the gods. He only fears what he'll compromise by living up to his potential. But isn't it easier to let sculptures represent you?
No!
Poor thing. Nothing he does could disappoint me. But that is a mother's prerogative.
I hate you. I hate you, Andra.
You have questions? Ikera, I have answers.
Okay.
Captain,
Oh.
What has been your most impressive feat of seduction?
No comment.
Oh, boorishness does not suit you, Captain. I once bedded a Rowatayan admiral without exchanging a word.
Do you talk about anything other than sex?
Ikera, there are other topics?
Yes.
I say that sex is useful for clarifying my intentions.
What the hell, Tekehu?
One of the Hazanui passed through Neketaka on a diplomatic mission. She insisted on visiting the Water Shapers Guild. Surveying the competition, I say. Myru paraded me before her, thinking I alone could intimidate Rauatai's fleet. Gods, Captain. Her muscles had muscles. She had all the delicacy and grace of a clenched fist. I wanted a taste of this power. She mentioned offhandedly that her ship needed repairs before the return voyage. I say you can imagine what happened next.
Her ship got repaired?
Eventually.
Ah, god damn it, Tekehu.
I heard that she spent her evenings in the officers' lounge, strategizing over drinks. I covered my magnificence under a peasant's cloak and made for the brass citadel. The guards at the lounge would not grant me entry at first. Not until I explained that I was the evening's entertainment.
You didn't.
I did.
Oh, God.
Naturally, my story checked out when they realized I was nude under the cloak. I presented myself before the stunned officers.
Oh.
Hazanui wore an expectant smile.
What?
Winking at her, I mounted one of the map tables and gyrated to some of Rauatai's bawdiest sea shanties. When enough was enough, Hazanui signaled for everyone to clear the room, and the war games began.
How'd that go?
She bade me lay down on the map. Once I was situated, she chided me for leaving my borders unprotected. Naughty boy that I am.
Oh.
Her armada sailed against my island with a heavy assault. She bellowed the most vile and depraved orders. In the end, I stole back the advantage, firing a cannon across her port side and leaving the magnificent vessel crippled in the water.
Are we still talking about sex?
Akira, I hope so. Otherwise, I might have started a war. Ours was a battle of endurance, not tactics. But I cherished winning a victory for the Juana.
I know this is Travis. That's one of the reasons why it's so embarrassing. Isn't that just wrong?
Akira, you might think so, but Rauatai's fleet pulled its ships away from Neketaka the following morning. Let it never be said that I failed to serve my people.
I don't know what to do. I'm too embarrassed. I don't know what.
You know that fervor is a quality I cherish. But let us wait for a time. Prolong our delights, Akira.
Really? Seriously, dude? What the fuck? He's a tease. He's a total tease. What a dick. An eyebrow, the blue of the open sea, rises over an iris, the warm green of shallow surf.
You be boring a hole in me with them eyes, Captain. I'd offer an obol for your thoughts, but I prefer not to make deals I ain't got no intention to keep.
I know things could have gone better back on Sayuka, but they could have gone worse, too.
I'd be fine, actually. Strange though it be.
If you want to talk, I'll listen.
Not sure there'll be much to say, Captain.
You found out you were inadvertently aiding the trade of slaves. That couldn't have felt good.
Oh, Cap, didn't feel at all good. What brilliant you are.
Ah.
Sorry about that. Weren't fair to you.
You need to tell the the council about Bastion's slaving. Set the record straight.
Aye, Cap. Much as I hate's an honest word, Some truths ain't for burial at sea. And despite it all, Cap, I'll be right glad to be serving with you.
Okay. And
Captain,
this spy.
You've spoken to Aethys, which means you know what we're up against.
Yes.
If the fleet sailed up to him and fired every cannon at once, I imagine we'd have a fighting chance at taking a chip off his kneecap.
That sounds not, I mean, not accurate.
There's no stopping him, is there?
Not everything can be solved through violence.
Get used to it. That's how things get done in this part of the world. I suppose there's a certain appeal to recognizing the inevitable. We don't have to waste our breath trying to stop it.
Care to elaborate on that?
It reminds me of the first time I shot to kill.
Okay. Can you spare the gory detail?
Captain, that's the best part. There he stood, a pirate captain barking orders from the forecastle. Out of everyone's range but mine. The wind toyed with us. I took aim, never thinking I'd make the shot, but then I felt this awareness, like someone out there was aiming me. A cannon blast took me by surprise. I squeezed off a shot, expecting it to fly wide, but the bullet took my target between his eyes.
Something aiming me?
I don't know if Bareth kicked open a door or the Sky Mother held my hand, but that man was meant to die. I've got that same feeling now. Better or worse, I know that Aethys is meant to succeed.
Ever question your career choice? Time will tell if Aethys getting what he wants is good for the rest of us.
Hope I didn't take the wind out of your sail. Whether or not we can change anything, at least we can say we were there.
That's not...
That's more than most people get.
Questions?
I've got some answers.
No, not anything new. Okay, so we've talked to everybody. So I think, yeah, that's Marisha. It's weird because some of the voice actors, it's really easy to tell who they are, which makes me almost feel like they're not as good at voice acting. But maybe I'm just more familiar with their voice, right? Like it probably doesn't have anything to do with their talent and more to do with I've heard them more often. So I don't know, you know? Some of the actors I can't tell if it's them or not. And like that feels like, wait, Beggar Whiffrith? It's the familiarity. Where's the beggar? That's supposedly here? I named it? Is that why it says beggar? What's his butt? Oh, that's a ship. Oh, that's the ship. That's the ship's name. Okay. My bad. I think I need to explore more of the islands around Port Nekataka. Or not Nekataka, Port Bluejay. That was one of my things, was just like explore. Yeah, let's go there. I thought it was like something that I needed to do, but it wasn't. Oh, shipwreck. Rad. a pirate. I've got a pirate's boat. Ooh, a shipwreck. The Steel Preacher, Fort Deadlight, Tikawara. I mean, let's just go back to Nekataka, because I want to improve my ship. And yeah, we'll clear a little bit. Wait. A rice farm? I don't think I need that. Hey. Fanged straight. The water darkens off the starboard bow of your ship, and jagged spurs and spits rise from the wave. What? The Teotara Marvel is near here. Every sailor must see it once. But Baedil is clenching the wheel with white-knuckled determination. They don't care if it's under a salty bosom. We're not sailing through a reef. Come, help me talk sense into Oswald. Oswald gapes at you both. And miss our chance. Sailors wait weeks for weather and seas this smooth. If you ever wanted to see the Teotara Marvel, this is the time. What's that? It's supposed to be a grand sight, an ancient mystery, and I haven't seen it myself. The graybeard I crewed with claimed to have seen it, swore it brought in 10 years of good health and favorable winds. Do we have charts to guide us through the reef? They're patchy, but they'll do, assuming Baedil can get us through. What's the condition of our hull? It's in good repair. I wouldn't sail through a reef myself, but if there's a time to try it, this is it. Take us through. The dead coral juts from the surface, grasping above like the legs of a spider, and the wind whistles as it passes across the jagged surfaces. Below the water, schools of fish flash among the brilliant reefs. Failure? What? Ah, our helmsman's a 2. The variegated shallows give way to blue depths. An enormous sinkhole opens around you, yawning wide enough to swallow a fleet. Baedil sighs with relief as Oswald searches the horizon for any sign of the mythical marvel. The Defiant sails on. So I didn't get the Wakara Reef. I got XP, huh? Alright, let's fight this person. It's a dragon?
That's not very helpful. I need something stronger.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I cannot keep this. No prisoners!
Aww. We killed the dragon.
That's me too, man.
Aww. What difficulty? It's just classic, normal, or whatever. Do I get to name this island? I don't. It was just a little drake. Yeah, I guess it wasn't a full-fledged dragon. Oh, what's this? What's this? A brine imp?
You'll be right screwed.
They'll hurt you.
What's this? What's this fella?
No prisoners.
Hi, Space Jam, how are you?
There's a lot of it. Bring them down.
We did it. Oh, ow. He fell on me. Okay, well, that happened. I feel like we might be over-leveled for some of these things. Let's go see this marvel. The sea here is vast and as smooth as cyan glass. Jumping up and down, Tekehu shouts and points to port at the pale pillar of luminous Adra rising from beneath the surface of the water. Theodul takes you closer. Much of the stone is encrusted with coral, but the visible portions coil above the water in long, looping spirals. Adra normally grows in large pillars, but this formation looks almost like 7 tentacles of some terrible sea monster grasping for the sky. Rower whistles low. So old. Had to be Engwithans. Old Eldengrim scoffs. Even they couldn't do that. That's Andra's slow, steady work. Even at night, the Adra shimmers, glowing from within and casting a ghostly light across the surface of the sea. Indeed, it's hard to tell whether the Adra's strange contours have been shaped by slow wear of the sea or distorted by it, and something about that ambiguity makes the vision all the more extraordinary. The rest of the crew chimes in, debating the wonder's meaning and origin in low, awed voices. There's no way to know where it came from. Enjoy it for whatever it is. Rower nods while Eldengrim murmurs a quiet prayer. The remainder of the crew nod and return to their duties. Theodul sails past, maintaining a safe distance. Equic and Eldengrim move to aft castle, eyes locked on the Teotera marvel until it disappears below the horizon. The game has a weird difficulty curve. You are steamrolling most of the game on Classic, especially since you did almost all the side quests and was max level by the end. It made the last boss a joke. I don't want the last boss to be a joke, but the last boss on Pillars 1, I actually ended up having to lower the difficulty to fight because I needed to get to this game. Low rations. Oh. Where's my rations? Plenty of rations. You have so many rations. You recommend not doing all the quests since you'll start pounding through by the end? There's a lot of games that's probably best not to do it all in one go. You think you burned yourself out being so completionist? A fog rolls in. Oh no, it's gonna be the pirate ship! Out of nowhere, a heavy fog rolls over the ocean, so dense that you cannot see more than a dozen feet out from your ship. With the fog's arrival, the winds die, the waves calm, and the Defiant is left aimlessly drifting. The only sounds of that of the hull groaning as if in dread of what's to come. Eerie green lights pierce through the fog as the silhouette of a massive galleon approaches. Black sails, thoroughly tattered and rotting, catch in an otherworldly wind, slicing the ship forward at a rapid pace. The captain, a skeleton outfitted in tarnished armor with glowering eyes, surveys you from the quarterdeck of the decaying galleon. She wraps two fleshless fingers against her chest before pointing right at you. What the goddess of death has marked, I will leave untouched. She nods solemnly once, then with a tilt of her skull, steers the ship away. As the floating hangman turns, several undead sailors shamble across the deck, hungry for a look at your crew. They scratch at the chipped and rotted railing, heads rolling on their exposed spines. The ship disappears back into the fog. A few minutes pass before the fog fully dissipates and the winds pick back up, rustling your sails. The sea is clear, empty. The other ship is nowhere to be found. Okay. I don't know what the first quest that we have to do is, so we'll just go to Serpent's Crown. Oh wait, no, I want to go to Queensbirth. You're wandering through the streets when a man approaches you, cutting through the crowd. You've never seen him, but the look in his eyes suggests that he recognizes you. Watcher, let me through. A meadowfolk man emerges from the crowd, red-faced and wild-haired. He pays no mind to the irritated pedestrians glowering at him. His bright eyes are fixed on you. You're the one what saw the miracle when Aethys rose at Kednua. Awe and conviction quiver in his voice. And you must be Lethern. You left Hisongo just before Aethys arrived. I knew it. Our paths were meant to cross. Our people talk highly of you. It's no wonder Aethys chose you to witness his return. That's why I'm hoping you can help. The tiniest flicker of doubt dances across his face. He banishes it with a deep breath and launches into his tale. I've been having strange dreams, a wheel that spins and spins. An orchard of koiki trees, each grown from the fallen fruit of the last. Then, the spokes of the wheel break apart, the trees stop growing, fruit falls and rots until the ground is covered with festering, stinking pulp. Why are you telling me? You've been touched by the gods, born with their mark. I've got to think you, of all people, can understand what this means. Besides, in these dreams I also see you, at the center of the wheel, in the middle of the orchard. You were there when Aethys rose, and you seem to follow every place he's been. His words and he works his mouth into a fretful pout as he gets to the crux of his concerns. Aethys has always meant rebirth and redemption, but so much death follows in his wake, both in the Saints' war and now here, again. His wide eyes are full of questions. Is this what I sound like? Adair gives you a guilty grimace. He turns toward Lethern. Friend, I'd love to buy you a drink if it helped. He shakes his head, the anxiety mounting behind his eyes. I need to know what this means. Please. Why are you coming to me with this? I never asked to speak for anyone. My people followed Aethys to war once. I wonder sometimes if we failed him when we lost. Or if we did that the moment we laid hand to blade. Please, you've seen more than anyone. You've got to have some idea of what it all means, and how to make sense of it. I'm a barbarian druid. Don't rely on custom to drive your faith, or you'll make the same mistakes as before. The gods aren't the only means to greater understanding. I would like this one if only it wasn't referring to animancy. I feel like don't rely on custom because I don't want to be like, hey, the Dawn Stars are great. Like, I don't want to refer to any of the groups that we've already seen. Like, I don't know if I should be like, yo, the Animancers, they're cool. Or, yo, the Dawn Stars are great. I think it wants to just be like, don't be fucking stupid. Sounds downright reasonable when you put it that way. Litharian nods, letting it sink in. I won't keep you, but you've given me a lot to think about. Thank you. I feel like that was a really important moment in terms of story, right? Like what you chose there really changed how the assorted stuff in Deadfire turns out, I think. Especially with the Dawn Stars. But also it appears with like animancy